مرحبا، كيفك محمد؟
Hello, Shuru. Um, Hello, everyone. My name is Muhammad Al-Arnaoud. And wait, okay. Hello, everyone. My
I
name is
can hear
Muhammad
you in
Al-Arnaoud.
a good way,
Yes.
so yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
It's okay.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Mrs. Shuru Al-Jayeh. My name is
Hello.
Muhammad Al-Arnaoud, and I'm going to be the host for this podcast today for Air Safety Evolve. And we have here with us is Mrs. Shuru Al-Jayeh. She's a sustainable specialist, project manager for development, and architect, international trainer for trainees, TOT, certified by the Imperial Business School from the UK, and she's also from the SCT Academy from the USA. She's also an entrepreneurship specialist and a sustainable specialist, and she measures also the social innovation in corporates and also sustainable practices in corporates. Welcome, Mrs. Shuru Al-Jayeh.
Thank you,
She's
Muhammad.
from
Thank you.
Jordan. And
Thank
today
you.
we're going to talk about sustainable entrepreneurship and ecosystem, from which I know is about sustainable entrepreneurship is basically as an entrepreneur myself, I'm launching my own startup. It's about actually taking some fabric, recycling it, and doing this in a sustainable way so we don't have piles and piles of textiles thrown around in the ground.
Yeah, sure. Actually, you know a lot, which is the good thing, and the good news that it's a good definition for environmental sustainability. Yeah, I know that there's a misunderstanding for people to just make differences between sustainability on the general definition of it and the environmental sustainability. But when we are talking about entrepreneurship and sustainable entrepreneurship, we are talking about the sustainability in its general definition, which is covers and uh, related to the four main pillars of sustainability, which is the environmental, economic, social, and governance pillar. Those all aspects of sustainability that we are just gaining them all together, or just get benefit of them all together as a four main wheels. Those wheels could work with each other toward or for more sustainable businesses. So yeah, I get data and information about environmental sustainability, but that's not all, which is there is more when we are talking about sustainability and sustainable entrepreneurship for small businesses and so on.
Yeah, I mean, it's really like for me, I didn't know about sustainability and entrepreneurship sustainability. So it was really amazing. Like where you like I didn't know about this. How is it? What is sustainable entrepreneurship? In a more like if you can more explain a bit, because the pillars we I guess it's all in the, how can I say this, in the spectrum of entrepreneurship. What is sustainable entrepreneurship and how it's related to the ecosystem? Because it's all related all together.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. It's a good question, actually, which is, let's say, the trend or the debate, the main debate that all people and all the world are talking about and discussing, which is climate change and climate change actions and how to tackle climate change effects and impacts on our ecosystems. But actually, out of Davos conference, which is the most important conferences, one of the most important conferences that's happening every year, the main outcome is for a more sustainable world, we need to create the more sustainable business world. So from here, I just came up with what I would like to call or talk about, which is the trend now is sustainable entrepreneurship, which is talk about how we can involve businesses, which is, or basically because businesses and manufacturing and etc., they are the core of the impact or the bad or negative impact for climate change. So business world was from the beginning was the core and the cause of negative impact of climate change, and now we are trying to resolve that and to make them involved in tackling the bad effect or the negative effect that they have caused already. So I think sustainable entrepreneurship is more than focusing on the environmental sustainability for businesses. It's also about the social inclusion, governance, how to control and to manage our businesses in a sustainable way. They are working all together to get more financial benefits for them. Just like an example, when we are talking about maybe the transfer of a supply chain into value chains, these are just like a hack for businesses. The core of it is the community and the social and social inclusion. But in a result, they are just help us or help businesses to be more sustainable financially and socially and environmentally. So this is what we are talking about when we are discussing sustainable entrepreneurship. It's talking about how to manage our businesses into a sustainable way on all aspects of the environmental, social, economic, and governance. I don't know if I'm just answering in a well way.
No, yeah, it's really like really shine upon how it's important to have a sustainable, startup entrepreneurship as an entrepreneur, because as you can say, you have to reverse what's happening in the climate change. And why should people do it? Like what said, because it's about social inclusion, you can be financially
Yeah.
sustainable.
Sure,
However,
agree. I just I want to complete your sentence, just like for an example. You have mentioned that you are working on legal issue startup. So just like an example,
Yeah.
what or how could you be more sustainable with your startup? Okay, now you have to think on those or in those 4 pillars in more strategic way, how to be are working all together. Like you have to plan again or reset your plans to be more strategic, how to involve social impact, environmental, and how to manage your business to be greener environmentally, in which it would cause a sustainable financial impact for you too. So this is just like a quick example. Actually, I would like always to mention a case study that we are always studying and teaching people when we are talking about sustainable entrepreneurship and how sustainability is important in business world. All of us know Nike. Nike is one of the largest corporates in the world, and it's a very well-known international brand. They are working with outsourcing companies for their laboratories. And just like suddenly one day, once someone just take a photo for a child working in one of those outsourcing companies for them under the name of Nike. And this was a huge issue to deal with for Nike. They were just having or dealing with a huge social impact, bad or negative social impact of childhood labor. So they were just like confused with the solution. In that year, the sales of Nike, they were decreasing more than 50%, which is a huge loss for them. So now what is social and environmental will be crucially and directly affecting the corporate or the business financially too. So now we can't just working regardless of all those impacts and all those aspects of sustainability, because they are now a demand we have to deal with, because people are more aware, the world are more aware of those impacts on not only the environment, but also the economic and the social side of businesses. So just like an example, I don't know if I'm trying to make you more familiar with the definition of sustainable entrepreneurship, you and the audience. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would like to hear you if that was fair enough for you to turn into sustainable startup.
Yeah, of course. I 100% agree. It's a long road, but we will get there. When I get there, I'm going to start thinking more about sustainability. And it really showed me that this case about Nike, and it really like I was thinking that this might happen to any startup, any business, any company that's happening. And this brings me up for Spade. How can we avoid this? What are the problems that entrepreneurs or company or startups, owners or co-founders might have when they are when they are trying to make their sustainable their enterprise and their company and startup more sustainable? What they might encounter,
Okay, this is a very good question to ask for people who are starting the business, actually. Because when we are talking about larger scale companies and enterprises, just like medium to large and X-large companies or corporates, maybe the obstacles, if you are talking about obstacles, the obstacles are bigger to deal with because they are already have established their own systems and strategies. But all of those large corporates today are establishing their own department of sustainability, so which is going to be maybe easier for them because they can pay money for doing that. But the question is now for micro, small, and medium businesses, what about them? For me, this is what I'm trying to do, which is to start from the beginning, to learn or to teach, to support them to learn for micro businesses and small enterprises, to support them to learn more about sustainability from the beginning of their businesses. Because if they will start it in a sustainable way, it's going to be so much easier than the establishing it in the normal way that we are just used to use or to develop our businesses. And then a lot of obstacles are going to come out in their faces, which is, I think, the proof of it is the study that says 9 out of 10 startups going to be or enter the failure phase before the first or during the first 2 years. So tackling or facing those obstacles before they are come in our face is the most important thing. So what I'm trying to let startup involved in is to start sustainably and to plan sustainably and to start from the beginning to involve those 4 pillars in their strategies and in their let's say business plan and action plans. It's going to be much more easier because so many obstacles are going to face them if they don't.
I agree with you 100%. Like when you start small, you're gonna grow big, and it's also close to the problem. When you have a small problem, if you don't solve it, it's gonna accumulate and it's gonna be a big problem.
Thank you.
It really showed, like, especially in this things, we always tend to have a higher approach. Like we need to get the cooperative word. Sometimes yes, but if you're going to have if you're an entrepreneur, you should start with yourself rather than advocating for others. Start with practicing yourself. And actually, this brings me, because it was a very, very, like, you touched on many things, and I wish I can continue more and more. I have just one last question. The question is, what elements should they bring to bring a more sustainable practice, and what are your final thoughts or recommendation for them? Because as you said, you're saying about the challenges. As someone who has expertise in this area, what are the elements of practice that they can put in their enterprise, and what are your recommendations for them in order to have this sustainability, rather than say you're gonna do it for 1 year and then it's not gonna do it again? You have to always, as you said, update, include more people, have a more sustainable plan, rather than just say I'm a sustainable entrepreneurship and just make it, as you said, as a trend.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Because as you know, Muhammad, and as you have mentioned, most of people, unfortunately, they are just I don't want to say abuse the debate of climate change into just greenwashing and whatever in their enterprises and companies. But if they just take a deeper look on sustainability and the general definition of sustainability, they're gonna know and believe that sustainability is the benefit. is the main and the core benefit for their enterprises to sustain. So everyone want to sustain as individuals, corporates, or enterprises, startups, whatever. We just need to sustain to live and to survive in this hard and tough world. So I think my suggestion or my recommendations for startups or for everyone who are working in the business world, it's always easier when you are teach yourself and learn more about new things. Don't follow the trend because it's just a trend. You have to just ask yourself what about it, what behind it, and how to implement it in my life. I think just like a quick hack, I'm gonna say, when we are talking about sustainable management, it needs workshops and courses to have that deep like understanding and to implement it in your startup or in your business. But always there is a quick hack I would like to learn, or sorry, to teach people and encourage them to learn about, which is the circular way of thinking or the circular design thinking. What does that mean? Don't think that processes in your business start from A, end in Z. No, this is not the circular design thinking or way of thinking that will sustain your business. You have to think in a circular way. How can I get back again to A, from A to Z, again to A, from A to Z, again to A, and the circle gonna be bigger and bigger, bigger scope, bigger impact, and bigger financial benefit also. So if we will always find alternatives how to reprocess or reset the process to get again to A in a bigger scope, this is what we are talking about, the circular design or way of thinking. This is a very quick recommendation for all enterprises and entrepreneurs if they're working on their own businesses to sustain them.
Thank you so much for this. I'm really, really glad that we had
Thank
this
you,
talk
Muhammad.
today, because it really shines upon about greenwashing, about not following the trend. We as entrepreneurs, we as businesses, they say, "I want to become like the corporate, be organic. Don't follow the trend, because the trend will either
Yeah,
sway in your
sure.
against your tide. You might go to the wrong way
Yeah,
just because following this." And I agree with it
agree.
about the circular economy, about thinking in a way to have a sustainable thing. Maybe after this, after we finish, you'll give me some advice about having my sustainable
Sure. It
sustainability
would be a
efforts.
pleasure for me. Yeah, sure.
This is our time is up for now. I hope we can talk again soon.
Thank you, Muhammad.
It's
Yeah,
Muhammad Arnaoud, host of Earth Safety Valve, and this is our speaker, Mrs. Shourouq Al-Jayeh. Thank you so much for
you
this
are so
fruitful
welcome. You are
discussion
so welcome.
and the
Yeah, it
really amazing
was.
information.
Yes, it was really, really fruitful. Thank you so much for hosting this podcast, Muhammad. And it was really useful. And I think it's going to be something to get back to while you are walking through your business journey. I hope that so. And for our audience too.
I hope that too, because education is, of course, because education is a process for all. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you soon.
You are so welcome. You are so welcome.